story now. Sanlam is leading the pack in terms of death claim payouts as COVID-19 continues to weigh heavily on insurers. It's paid 22 billion rand in death claims since the beginning of last year. The insurer paid a 10 billion rand in mortality claims in the first 6 months of this year alone. Now, Sanlam says that the affluent clients who are normally insured for large amounts dominated the claims in the second wave. The insurer has implemented premium increases in the employer group schemes. It says with individual clients, vaccination status would be taken into account, but still will need to follow a risk-based approach as opposed to penalizing everyone who has not been vaccinated. Sanlam has reported a 3% rise in interim profits and has also confirmed that it plans to exit several of its UK-based operations, including the life insurance and wealth management units. Abigail Mukhuba, who's Sanlam's Chief Financial Officer, joins me now to unpack those results. Abigail, many thanks for your time this afternoon. Let's first start with some of the salient features of the results in this period. I just mentioned the death claims that we spoke about, but just paint a picture for us in terms of those important figures that we need to note.
Good evening, Rofhiwa, and good evening to your viewers. Thank you very much. We were very pleased with the results that we reported today. We had very positive performance on most of our KPIs. We had about 16% increase on our net result from financial services. Our net operational earnings went up by 33%, whilst our VNB almost doubled 6 months versus the 6 months. If we look at our net fund flows, we were 13% up on last year. But more importantly, we were very pleased with our performance on the ROGEV, which is our value, basis on which we calculate our value distribution for purposes of our shareholders. That we managed to get to 6.2, which was not very far away from the 6.6 target that we had set ourselves for this 6-month period. So a very pleasing performance across.
Yeah, and I mean, you did experience more death claims in some of your other competitors. Why would you say this was the case? Because everyone was going through COVID, and yet Sanlam seemed to suffer more than most.
Well, I would think that a lot of it also has to do with, if you look at the demographics of the second wave of COVID on our business, we had a lot of impact on our retail affluent and Sanlam corporate business. And you will know that in terms of market share, from a Sanlam perspective, our market share on the retail affluent segment is quite higher compared to our peers. So from that angle, that's why our number was significantly higher. And on top of that, if you look at the comparative period, it's not always comparing same periods between peers and us.
Yeah, and you just mentioned there that the affluent market and corporate would have been the most affected. And that was going to be my next question in terms of painting a picture of the bracket of the people that would have been the hardest hit by COVID and who would come to Sanlam for that assistance.
So that would be your middle income bracket in terms of people that earn above 25,000 Rand per annum. Let's say up until around 60,000 per annum. Per month. I said per annum, per month. And that would be mainly, if you look at the age groups, is also working class people.
Right. Now, there is an entire debate around the unvaccinated and the vaccinated. And I'm just wondering, from Sanlam's side, are you in discussions or considering increasing the premiums of clients or new clients who would look for business with Sanlam and are unvaccinated? And really, how would you calculate that?
We would continue to follow a risk-based approach when we determine the premiums that our new clients would have to pay. If you look at taking out, as an example, a new policy. We're very committed to making sure that there's health across in terms of all our clients, but we're also committed to making sure that we provide products that cater to their needs. So to the extent that we're analyzing somebody's COVID status, it's not that we're going to specifically say because you've got COVID or you don't have COVID, therefore your rates are at a certain level. No, we do the analysis similar to as we do any other underwriting, where we follow a risk-based approach and we look at the levels of comorbidities that are in place, as well as the risk profile of the individual.
Abigail Mukhuba, thank you for your time this afternoon. She's Sanlam's Chief Financial Officer, giving us some insight into the numbers they released earlier today.